Hello, everybody. You have tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant Rich Myers with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. We'd like to thank the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, for their continued support of the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'd like to thank my friend Tom Trail for putting us on the Indiana State Police YouTube site each and every week and for what he does for us each and every week when he does the Roadshow. Got some great guests with me today. Got the main man, the top dog, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Richie.
I appreciate you coming. And PIERRE, TWER, Bolt for the Heart, thank you for juggling your schedule and making yourself aware or available to be down here today. I appreciate you coming all this way.
It's an honor, Rich. Thank you.
Well, good. And we're going to talk about something that's very important to the Indiana State Police and something that's taken off by leaps and bounds, and that's the Bolt for the Heart. And PIERRE, if you could kind of go through background, how this all started and how the Indiana State Police got involved.
Well, the main mission of what we're trying to do is place AEDs in organizations that are in need. And obviously an AED is an external defibrillator, and it's been proven that with the aid of an AED in the event of a sudden cardiac arrest, the survival rate goes up to 90%. So our organization has looked at, we've donated to churches and schools in the past, and last year we had one of our board members, who's a cardiologist, do an exam on a state trooper. Mm-hmm. And everything went fine during the exam, but afterwards our cardiologist board member said, "Do you have an AED in your car?" He says, "I do not, but some guys have them, some don't, but we really sure could use them." And so that prompted a discussion on the board of what to do and where we should place AEDs. And I had the pleasure of meeting Superintendent Carter. We had the discussion about that along with Captain Dave Burston. And that just created a groundswell of what we're doing. So our goal with Bolt for the Heart is to place AEDs in every Indiana State Trooper car until we get every car,
outfitted with AEDs. AED. That's wonderful. And Superintendent, we're talking about, like PIERRE said, it's time-saving device. That time that you have being available to do that, especially in our rural areas, is very important, isn't it?
It is. And the synergy that PIERRE and I felt from the very early stages of this process, which happened to coincide with our heart initiative within the agency.
Right.
To get folks in to get these done, and it's amazing the success we had during that particular process.
Exactly.
And then this connection and this relationship with these consummate professionals from Bolt for the Heart that, by God, they've included us, and that's a big deal. Most people pay attention to the ISP in the urban areas of Indianapolis and the donut counties, but the reality is about 60% of Indiana is rural, and these guys and gals are out there incredibly committed to their communities, committed to their families, going to extracurricular events, churches, ball games, stores, and the like. And to have this device in that car is a really, really big deal. So a shout out to Bolt for the Heart and everybody that's made that real.
Yeah, and like you said, we not only on duty, but you see the marked police cars, the state trooper cars at baseball games, at athletic events, at churches, at your Walmarts, and that AED is going to be there available if somebody needs it. So that's something that's a wonderful part of this event. But something that we got coming up this week, because it's going to be Sunday and it's coming up on Thanksgiving Day,
right, is
the big run. How's the numbers looking, PIERRE?
Numbers are looking great. We have a traditional 5K run on Thanksgiving morning here in Carmel, and last year we had record numbers, and this year we've already surpassed those record numbers. So what that means really is not so much bigger numbers, but what that means is every dollar that comes in goes right towards buying additional AEDs. So it's been really a pleasure to see the numbers grow into a pretty significant event. One of the things we're also doing this year, and Superintendent Carter has definitely embraced this, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about this, is our race directors came to us with an idea about a virtual run.
Okay.
Because not everybody can come to Carmel to run a race on Thanksgiving morning. There are other things going on. So you want to share with what?
Yeah. What an innovative idea, Richie. I mean, this gave everybody an opportunity to participate.
Exactly.
And the beauty of this is every dollar that they raise goes to the purchase of an AED. It's a big deal.
Yes.
It's a big deal. So the notion that we could get folks to apply as families, as groups, as districts, as squads, as community members, partnering with our troopers, however that might look, to participate. It doesn't have to be on Thanksgiving morning. It can be any time. But today'd be a great day because it's sunny outside. Yeah. But it can happen almost any time with any group of people, and they determine their course. They're able to they'll get the medal, they'll get the bib number.
Yep.
They can purchase shirts and hats online, and that will get to them. We ask them to send pictures back to us. Times are important, but they're just kind of fun.
Yeah.
And this gives opportunities for communities to come together as one for a cause that is just amazing.
Well, I know when you put this out, Superintendent, to the different districts, they jumped all over it.
They did.
And they've got grand plans, and each district's kind of doing something different. A lot of districts have the troopers involved, but a lot of them have the troopers plus the public coming in. You know, the families of the troopers and the EMS and fire are all jumping on board. I know in our particular county, Morgan County, where I live, our local FOP is going to do it on December 17th.
Oh, that's great.
And we're going
to
get together, and the officers and everybody, and just kind of a time of bonding for the officers, but to have the public there with us too. And the unique part about this I like is it's $20, you know, plus you get this medal, you get your number, and you're able to show your support for the AEDs. So
the medals are going out early next week. We have the medals in stock; they're ready to go. And the bib numbers are done. So for $20, like you said, they register. They'll get their bib number and their medals before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And they can just do whatever you want in your local area. And incidentally, too, I'll tell you that this is a new concept to us, as I mentioned earlier. It's becoming a pretty big deal in running, and we have actually had over 200 people register for the virtual run so far in our run this year. So it's a significant portion of our total numbers. And we even had a lady from Korea register for the race. So social media is a pretty powerful thing, and she sent us a picture.
No, it's all the road show. It's not social media. It's all the
it's
ISP.
Forgive me, please. So it's just neat how that has spread to parts of the world that we.
And you were telling me she has a picture of her dog with
the medal.
With the medal. Can you show the medal to the cameraman here right there? So she had that medal on her dog. And
from Korea.
From Korea. I sent you a photo of that. That is grand. That is wonderful. So, possibly the farthest that we've heard so far, anyways.
Oh my gosh,
that is great. That is wonderful that she's picked up on that.
Right.
I know when we've talked about this before. Also, once we get the ISP cars equipped, you're not going to quit.
No, there's a great need out there. I mean, we've dabbled into local police departments, Covington, Union City. We've done some things in Westfield. There's a great need for that. I don't think a police officer will deny the fact this is a very important piece of equipment to have, but it's an expensive piece of equipment to have. So once we outfit the state police, we're going to go to the county areas, to the local police departments as well, and try to do the same thing in those communities.
That's going to be good. And you're going to continue the runs, I'm sure, every year and come back with a virtual runs. It sounds like the success is there. That is something that we can continue to work with.
Absolutely. And we're not all about the bigger numbers, getting 20,000 people there. What's happened this year, which has really been great to see, is that we've had involvement from corporations. Indiana University Health has been tremendously receptive to us. Marsh Supermarkets. We've had a number of sponsors have really stepped up. The Indiana State Police Alliance is making a significant contribution to AEDs this year. So it's not just about the participation, it's about the mission and the meaning of what we're trying to do. And we'd love to have you do it virtually if you can't come to Carmel that morning. Come do the race that morning. Or you can make a donation too.
Well,
I think the best time for the folks that want to do this remotely and virtually is after they eat on Thanksgiving Day. So they can go out and walk as a family.
Walk. Maybe
walk is the key word. That's right. They can walk the 5K. Or whatever
exactly.
Is.
Yeah.
And, they're participating in something much larger than themselves.
Exactly.
It's now the great time in human history to do that.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Yeah.
Now is the time to do that.
Yeah, to show your support for law enforcement and for this, it would be excellent idea when you got all your family together. You're all doing something that, like you said, is bigger than you can help out. Let's talk a little bit about the AED. Maybe people don't know exactly how that works and what's the science behind it. What does it do to somebody that's having trouble?
Yeah, no problem. There are two things that can happen to the heart. One's a heart attack, which is basically a blockage to the heart, which minimizes the flow to the heart, which has an ischemic attack. A lot of people survive that. The difference is with an AED, it's usually designed to solve what's called a sudden cardiac arrest, where the heart just stops. So I liken that to your car battery. When you turn the key, nothing happens. That happens to some people with the heart. It just stops.
Right.
So the only way to get the heart back into rhythm is to have some type of electrical stimulation, and that's what an AED does.
And these are so easy to use anymore. totally walks you through it, correct?
Yeah, years ago, people were really concerned about using an AED because it would shock somebody that would, that would already have a heartbeat, and the concern was, will I do more damage to this person?
Right.
Well, these devices are voice activated. They walk you through each step, so you technically don't have to be trained to use it. But the other good part of it is once you put the pads on the chest, is that it does an algorithm through the body, and if it detects a heart rate, it will not shock.
Okay.
So that takes all the liability away from that person that's trying to save a person, do a good deed. So,
what are what's the roundabout price that we're looking at on each one of these?
it's about $1,500 to $1,600 a piece.
Okay.
But we buy them in good numbers here. We get a pretty good deal on them. So.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah,
It is.
Go buy in bulk. Well, I know this last week you folks were in Bloomington, IU Health, donated some AEDs, I think 50 of them?
15.
15 of them,
yes.
down to troopers in the southern part. And then coming up this week, you're going to be the northern part of Indiana, again, IU Health.
Right, yeah. IU Health was very generous, and they gave us a nice donation to allow us to buy an additional 50 on top of the 15 that they donated last month. And so 15 is going to Muncie, 15 to Bloomington, 15 to IU Arnett, and 5 are going Lafayette, excuse me, and 5 in Avon as well. So
let's talk a little more about the race. What times is that? The show up registration, can you register there? Do you have to do it online, or are we close? Or
we're getting close, yeah. We cut off registration at midnight on Monday.
Okay.
But we'll
are you registered yet? Might want to put that down in your book.
I will get that done.
If you want a shirt, you need to do it before midnight Monday.
Okay.
Well, there's a shirt there. I'll get you a shirt.
Right. Don't procrastinate like me. Is that message?
The race is at 9 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning, and it's at the center green in front of the Palladium in Carmel. Virtually, you can register anytime you'd like, and you should be able to come in, do the 5K run, which is 3.1 miles. You should be done by 10 o'clock, be home, ready to have dinner. The other theory is you could run first. That means you can eat more later without guilt.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. You're always
Put it
hungry
behind you.
I am.
Have it out there
me
and
too.
hit
Me
that
too.
cart and just lay down.
That's right.
So Thursday morning, 9 o'clock at Carmel, and you'll be done by, say, 10:30.
Right.
Have that out of the way. But if you want to do it virtually, you can go to the same website. What is that website?
It's www.boltfortheheart.com.
All one word.
All one word, and all the registration information is there for the virtual or the on-site.
And the virtual goes on past, right? That's any time. That's not just before the race on Thursday. You
That's
can do
right.
that anytime.
Exactly.
Good deal. What is the cost of the race itself if you're going to run in the race Thursday?
If you register before Monday, it's $35. And what we include in that, obviously, is your race number, your finisher's medal, and you also get a shirt.
Okay.
And we also have upgrade options, too, if you want to get a different shirt or if you want to buy this Bolt for the Heart hat with the
Indiana State Police insignia on it.
Absolutely.
That's
It's
nice.
being worn proudly every day now. But, yeah, so that's an option for you as well.
Good deal. Superintendent, this has been grasped by our districts, by everyone. It's just taken off, and it's been a godsend, hasn't it?
It has, and I liken this to so much of the other equipment that we carry, whether it be a pistol, whether it be a portable radio, whatever it might be.
Yes.
That they're expensive pieces of gear that we train to use, even though we may never have to.
Amen.
But we need to have them there if in the event that we need them. And it's been so refreshing to me to see these troopers, young and old alike, come from all over Indiana to a central location to be issued the very best of the best piece of gear that's out there on the market today. That message to me is they matter very, very much. And I know PIERRE and the entire executive board agree that they matter. But to be able to give them this gear is a really big, this piece of gear of this quality to save a human life
Yes.
is a really big deal.
And the best, I mean, not the best part, but one of the great part, it's not costing the taxpayers a dime. It's because of your generosity.
Absolutely.
And
That's
the
right.
generosity of the public and everybody out there that this is coming totally free. So, guys, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here on such short notice. And Godspeed to everybody Thursday, and keep up the good work.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you also.
Thanks, Rich.
You've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I've had Superintendent Doug Carter, PIERRE TWER with the Bolt for the Heart here with me today. We're talking about the Bolt for the Heart run, Thanksgiving Day. If you can't make that, make sure that you go online and register for the virtual run and do it anytime you want. And that $20 goes directly towards AEDs for the state police. Talk to you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Roadshow out.